Hi, I'm going to show you today how you're going to work around this type of Dragino product. I'm not going to show you the LoRa one side, I'm just going to show you how you can program them, upgrade them, change the firmware and the bootloader. So before we get started, just so you know, they are being delivered in a cardboard box like this, and you're going to open it up and back up whatever is on this sticker, all right? It's important information, you want to keep track of that, don't lose it. And then, in order to access like this UART interface, you're going to have to open it up. So in this case, I already opened up the device. So you can see there's like 4 screws. If you get the solar models, you're just going to have 6 screws on the back. It's pretty much the same, and you're going to find the exact same hardware inside of it. So there is various PCBs. So this one is a PSLB sensor, as you can see right in here. And basically how it works is you have a UART interface on the top, you have an antenna here that gets plugged to the main module here. So this is where the LoRa one and all the logic happens. Behind of that you have a BLE chip, and then the whole board under that is being used to provide power, level, data transmission. So it's just basically the brain and anything for the analog signal. You also have a battery management system here. So in that case, it's actually like just a simple non-rechargeable battery that's behind it. If you need to remove the battery or replace it, you can take out those 4 screws, unplug the battery, right? You can plug it back. If you need to unplug the battery but you don't want already to unplug the battery, you can just remove this yellow jumper here, and there's a little button on top of there. You can see, well, you can like press it, it will click, and this will reboot the device. What else? In addition to that, you might accidentally like remove that IPEX connector. So if you're not familiar with that, if you lift it up, it comes pretty easily, so don't freak out. I don't get, like most of the times people might think it's broken, it's not. Like just like align it and push it back down and it should be back and working. And what else? So you can see here there's a type of a PCIe connector. So if you remove that screw, you can pull out that board and replace it. I got some instances where for some reason this board stopped working. I don't know why. It's pretty rare, but it happened to me like a few times. Then you have finally a little switch here. So on the bottom of the switch it's written ISP, on the top it's written flash. So if you put it in the ISP, on the ISP setting, actually it's how you're going to be able to reflash the bootloader. So to give you a sense on what is a bootloader, basically the bootloader is going to be the first layer of software that's going to be able to boot up the firmware, and it's also the piece of software that's going to enable you to do the wireless update of the firmware. So it's like a BIOS for a computer. And yeah, finally you have some headers. So the headers are labeled here. On any of the manuals of Dragino products, they will let you know which headers does what. So usually like the top right is always a ground. So those headers you just have to unscrew and screw it back in to like lock the cable. So here there's nothing plugged to that device, just for like the purpose of like showing this up. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the hardware. The antenna, I have an older design. So you can see like even when the antenna is screwed on entirely, some metal part is showing up. I would highly recommend you to buy some liquid tape and put some of it around it so water actually doesn't rust that connector, because over time it's damaging it. Yeah, and also when you open and close this, like be sure not to pinch the cable, like try to like organize it like this. And when you close it, you might have, like I do have an electric screwdriver, just be careful not to screw those screws back in with an electric screwdriver, because it might break the enclosure. So I would recommend you tighten it by hand. You want this, this is like a flexible joint. You want it to be pressed, but not too much, right? It's hard to see on camera, I guess, but like by eye, you can see when it's pressed, but not too much. Yeah, that's about it. If you wonder what this is, it's like it's in order to get some of the moisture out. But if your box is damaged and water comes in, it will not let the moisture out. It's also like pressure equalizer. In some instances, you want to have like a pressure sensor inside of the box. So that's why. All right, so that's it for the physical attributes of that box. Okay, now what about the connection? So here I have USB Type-C to UART TTL interface. Don't freak out about the fact that there's exposed electronics. It's a very inexpensive board. You can find some online for a few bucks. Like this is probably like $1.50, so it's very inexpensive. And so if you look on top of there, it's very tiny, but it's right. And like basically this is ground, and this is RX, and this is TX. Oh, sorry, yeah. So basically ground, RX, TX. So in order for me to connect it to that board, I know that the top left is ground, and this is how I connect it. So yeah, I said ground, and then RX, TX, so ground, RX, TX. And actually, let me show you something that you should be looking at. It's the manual from Chovio. So I'll zoom on the page so it looks better on YouTube. So go user manual, and then we're going to look for there's a picture with the ground, as I said, and every input output. All right. And then we're going to search for a few information. So first, I'm going to search for firmware, and here, OTA firmware update. All right. So there is a firmware download link, so you can click on it. Go here, take the last version, and download the file that matches your region. So in my case, it's US 915. You also have a changelog for every device. So what I'm showing here is not only for this device, for all Dragino device, let you know what's included with the software. But once you have this firmware update, like how to flash it? Well, there's two ways. The first way is going to be doing it wirelessly using like this type of USB adapter. The thing is, I'd rather work with the PC and have a wired connection, so I don't use that. So then I'm going to show you how to do it using UART TTL interface. So you can open that page. Oh, I'm realizing actually it was not zoomed out, sorry about that. So then there's this table which tells you, depending on the board you have, what UART for IT commands you should use and how to do the firmware upgrade. So for me, I'm using a PSLB, but don't freak out. There's like 1, 2, 3 main boards. This one is, I never used it actually, I don't even know what it is. It's probably a little sensor, yep, that's it. So it's a tiny little sensor, so don't care about this one. So there's 3 boards and it's roughly the same thing. It's just a matter of little details. So they created different pages. So if you open this up again, you will see like, yeah, they let you know like ground is here, TX, RX. So something very important to know when you're working with when you're working with a serial adapter is you have to cross TX and RX. So the TX from your key goes to the RX, and the RX from your key goes into the TX. All right. So otherwise it won't work. But if you mix it up, no big deal. You can just like reverse the connection. It will start working. All right. And then UART firmware upgrade instructions. So click here. And so first, you will want to download like the serial port utility software. So just go on Google, serial port utility, you go there and you download and install this software. And then you also want to download the bootloader here. So go ahead and download the 1.3. So don't be worried about the name. They actually also have a 1.4, which I downloaded before. I don't know why the link is not updated, but this 1.3 works. Also download the Dragino programmer right here. Same, like you're going to install that. And then they show you how to do it. So if you follow along those instructions, you should be all right. But I'm still going to show you how to do it. So we're going to do it together. So here I have a Windows VM where I have my firmware, my bootloader, Dragino programmer, and Dragino sensor manager. Oh, I forgot to show you how to get that one. Manager, yeah. So I typed Dragino sensor manager on that page. There's OTA tool. If you click there, you can download that software again. All right. So let's do that. So the first thing, so because it's a VM, the first thing I need to do is actually to go here and go to USB device and make sure that this is connected. So right now I'm using a key that is FT232. So it's showing as this. So if you're using a PC and you're doing a bit of electronics, it's likely that you already have those drivers working. But if you don't have them, I highly suggest that you do FT232 drivers. You go there, and then you go VCP drivers. And here there's a bunch of links. So where it's tricky is that if you use, like me, a MacBook with an ARM processor and that you have a VM, you need to download like this version of the software. And you might also want to download the two of them. So the one thing you need to make sure is that once you downloaded all of that, you want to have the device showing as COM port. If it's not showing as COM port, but you see like USB device key, you go just like update driver, browse, and then you browse to like FTDI driver or like those folder, and try to point Windows to the driver until you see like a COM whatever device. So okay, so now first thing is I'm going to show you how to connect to this device. So here I only have one COM port. I install serial port utility, and I can like just go there, connect, and nothing happens. Well, to trigger something from the device, I'm going like to push it, okay, to keep it pushed. So this will trigger a reboot, and then I can see that the device is starting. All right. Now, if I want to send 80 commands to the device, I will have to type it here and send it. But you can see that here it's telling me incorrect password. And this is where the little sticker you had to take note of is coming handy. So I need to remember what is the password. So at the same time, I should also, now that I think about it, I should show you how to access it through your smartphone. We'll do that next. So right now I'm putting my smartphone. So I found out that the password is DBA80. Oh, let's try. Correct password. So from now, I can actually send 80 commands. So for example, 80 plus TDC plus CFG. So this will print out all the configuration of the device. So about those 80 commands, you will find a bunch of information on this page, on the devices page. So let me like go back up here. Like you will find a bunch of information. So if I do like 80 plus, they will give you like devices specific information on how to use like those settings. So take your time, sit down, grab a coffee, like when you're learning, like figure that out. Like there's basic commands that can be used for every devices, such as AT plus TDC. For example, this will tell the device to update every, like send an uplink every 400 milliseconds. So here I just changed it. So this is true for every of the Dragino device. OK, confirms that the command arrived. And so if you don't know, I mean, if you need like very generalistic commands, I think they have like they should have a link. Yeah. For the sensor, user can change 80 commands. Okay. And then they're like, hop, change uplink interval. And you can see that this is not anymore specific to the device. It's like end device 80 command and downlink command page. And here they give you all the very generalistic 80 commands that you will find on most of the Dragino devices. For example, ATZ is going to be resetting the MCU. All right. And also for every 80 command you can send on the UART interface, you can also send a downlink. So yeah, pretty much you can send like 04 on TTN, for example, and FF, and it will reboot the node remotely. So that's very convenient. All right. So now that we know how to send AT command and basically like configure the device locally, but also remotely with TTN, even though I haven't demonstrated it, you can try, like just try it in the lab. For example, on TTN, you can send a downlink. You don't need to change the uplink port, the downlink port, and you can change like, you don't need to change the FP port, and you can change like 01, 00, 012C, and this will like change the TDC. It's the same thing. Like look at that. So 01, 00, 003C on TTN will set the transmit interval to 60 seconds because like 3C in hexadecimal is equal 50. So if we go like hex to int, or actually it should be the other way. Like it's decimal to hex. So if I want 60 seconds, I'm going to do like 60. In hex, it's 3C. So you just need to go do 01, 01, 003C. And if you want more, if you want like every 6,000 seconds, it's going to be 1717. Right? So it would be 01, 00, 1717. Pretty straightforward. So this is how you can use like those downlink command instructions that you have for most of the AT command anyway. All right, so what's next? What's next is going to be how to update the bootloader. So you will start Trimo Programmer. So that's the first thing. Then we'll grab the. I'm sorry, I need to see what I'm doing. We'll grab the node and we'll push this switch down to the ISP mode. All right. And then we'll also like push this little button to reset the node. So I could remove the battery, but it's faster. So I just press the button. Now, here I'm going to select COM3. I don't need to change that setting, but it should be set to that value. Here I'm going to select the bootloader. Well, it's already selected, but I'm just going to do it for you. So bootloader, and then I'm going to do start. And that's it. I uploaded the bootloader. Now, the one thing that's very important is go to the ISP mode using the switch and reset the device. That's the only thing you need to do. You might struggle a bit, but it's not that hard. And then we are going to do a firmware update. So we're going to boot up the sensor manager utility I showed you before. So for a software update, actually, we need to go back here and move the switch back to the firmware, to the flash mode. So now the sensor, once it's reboot, will start working normally. But what we want is like to start the bootloader and start the firmware update. So On the Dragino sensor manager, you're going to go on UART firmware update, select the upgrade file again, and push start. And then it might take a while, or it might not. So if it's not working, so here I'm like, oh, it doesn't look to be working. I'm going to reset the thing. Same again with the button, one click, and then it should start the update. So just be patient. Sometimes it's working right away, sometimes it's not working right away. So here I can see nothing's going on, so it's kind of frustrating. So what I'll do is I will stop the thing. I will unplug the battery, because sometimes when the USB key is plugged, it kind of still powers the MCU, the reset doesn't work so well. And I'm going to try again. So I plugged everything back, the device is powered, I'm going to press start. And again, I'm going to reset the device. Did I press it? Okay. Oh, the device, the software just crashed, so let's open it again. At least something happened. So don't be frustrated. Sometimes it will just work straight away. Sometimes it's just a bit tricky. It's just a matter of like the software being confident that it can actually write on the partition, and the device being like, all right, you can write. All right, try again. So if nothing happens, I'm going to reset this device again. All right, let's try again. All right, and it's finally starting. So you can see that it's a bit choppy the way it uploads, and it shouldn't be. Before doing this video, I tried, and it was failing just before the end. My guess is because I'm running a VM, it's a bit too slow. So once the device update, like the firmware update is successful, you will be able to see that you now have image version 1.2, and before that it was like 1.1 or 1.0. So you know also that the where is the OTA version actually? Oh, I don't see the OTA version. Right. All right. Let's open again cellular port utility and check for the not the OTA, sorry, the bootloader version. So let's try again. So I'm going to reset the thing, and as you can see, bootloader is 1.3.